What's up? 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 What's up, y'all? Y'all ready to go? Y'all ready to get this thing on popping, on and crackulating? Check out Monroe NFL Draft. Not exciting. Showtime, baby. Showtime, showtime, showtime. Y'all come on in, come on in, come on in, come on in, come on in. I hope y'all ready. I've not been on here a long time. Last time I was on here, I was talking mad shit. But y'all come on in, come on in, come on in. We're going to talk politics tonight. And then when I'm done talking politics, whatever y'all want to ask me, I'm going to answer the question. And that's what we're going to do. And that's how we're going to do it tonight. And we get a little closer to y'all. So, as you know, before we start, all we do, we ask you where you from. Where you from? Where you from? Where you from? Where you from? What's up, Miss Robinson? All right, I need to know where y'all from. I need to y'all check in. Let me know where you from. Where you from? That's what we do. We do before we do the Luke show. We start off with that, just like that. So we check, make sure everybody check in. Let me know where you from. I see. Hey, Austin, Texas in the house. There it is. Santa Cloud, Florida. Salt Lake City in the house. I want y'all to know all the people who are in this room right now. Look at this here, man. Mississippi, Akron, Ohio, Little Rock, Augusta, Georgia. This is an international crowd. Everybody from everywhere. Tampa, Florida up in here. Look here, man. This thing on and popping. See what I'm saying? Look, everybody is up in here. Detroit is in here. St. Louis in here. North Carolina up in this piece. Look, man. Hey, you already know the 314 is in the building as usual. Brooklyn, New York up in here. Listen, man, we got people from all over the world. I keep telling people this is not a local show because there ain't nothing local about yours truly, Uncle Luke. Brooklyn, New York up in here. Look at that. Fort Myers. Shoot. Everybody up in this joint. Look at Fort Myers. Where you at, Fort Myers? Everybody is up in here. Philly is up in here. Listen, man, we go, look, there it is. Phoenix, Arizona, ATL, Brooklyn in this bitch. Look, GA in here, the NO up in here, Missouri up in this joint, New Orleans. Everybody in here. Y'all checking in. I see you. I see you. We have a very lively international crowd up in this piece tonight. And we're going to have us a good time. Duval County, Dallas, D.C. Look at this. The Bay Area. Look, man. Look. Listen. Everybody up in here. I love it. So what we're going to do is talk about a couple things tonight. And I'm going to let y'all, I'm going to do something different. You know, I have a topic. My topic is politics, you know, and after I'm done talking about politics, then after that, I'm going to let y'all ask me what y'all want to ask me, and we can go from there, and we can have a good intellectual conversation about whatever y'all want to talk about. If it's music, if it's love, if it's relationship, if it's whatever y'all want to talk about. At the end of the topic, then we'll have that conversation. And we're going to call that Ask Uncle Luke. Ask Uncle Luke. And so that's the time that you get to ask me what you want to ask me. I see you, Kansas. I see y'all up in there. So now, the topic of the day, my topic is, what has the Democratic Party did for African Americans? We went out and voted. We voted on mayors. We voted on Congress people. We voted on senators. We voted on everything. We got a lot of African Americans elected. We got white folks elected. We just did our thing when it comes to the Democratic Party. mostly women, and that's why you see the Democratic Party pretty much lean toward women a lot more than they lean toward African American male men. So my question to you, after what is it, a couple years now, Joe Biden has been the president. We've had we've elected senators, Congress people, mayors, especially like in Miami. We elected a mayor. We have 5 black commissioners on the Miami-Dade County Commission. So my question to you: what has changed? Has there anything changed? Has it been significant change? I'm asking you guys the question, wherever you're from, because again, we elected a president, beat out Trump. We elected vice president, and we control the House and we control the Senate. So what has the Democratic Party do for African Americans? I don't see nothing too much, to be honest with you. Uh, Bank accounts are not as full. They they passed the infrastructure bill. They did not pass the George Floyd bill. Uh, Student loans, and I was let me go back to the George Floyd bill, because that is how most Democrats got elected. It was widespread protests around the country because of police brutality, and it people marched, people protest, people went to the polls, they voted out Trump. But what really have we got? I would like to know, because I don't see anything. I don't see better education in inner city schools. I don't see better opportunity. Yes, the job rate is down to 3%. I don't see a living wage. I don't see, they keep talking about uh, a crime bill so that police brutality don't happen to African Americans. I really don't see too many things that have changed. They passed an infrastructure bill where they're going to build on roads and highways and bridges. But in that bill, I don't see anything where African American contractors would be able to receive a contract. I don't see that, because the biggest issue of African American contractors is what they call bonding. When you can't get bonded, then you can't get that big contract. When it's a construction, you win the bid all day, but then now you got to get bonded. And when you can't get bonded for those millions and millions of dollars, you tend to lean on the big white corporation who can get bonded through the bonding agency or through the bank. So I would have thought that President Biden would have put into this infrastructure bill, if you really wanted black businesses to thrive, you would have put into that bill uh, where they can get bonded through the government. Just to make it simple, plain and simple, unless you regulate the banks, which the banks need to seriously be regulated, because that was one of the things and one of the reasons why I supported Kamala Harris, about regulating the banks. And on top of that, uh, regulating how they calculate the FICA score, because, as you know, most African Americans are renting and they ain't necessarily buying. So if you're doing a lot of renting, then that does not affect your FICA score. So one thing me and her talked about when I went out on the campaign trail to support her, which I liked it, was to redo how they calculate the FICA score, to give African Americans the opportunity to take advantage of the things that they are purchasing on a regular basis, like paying for the daycare, paying for the renting, paying for light bill, phone bill, water bill, all those things, and those things would be able to affect their FICA score. but that didn't happen. We looked at the George Floyd bill. That went to the floor, never got passed. So my question is, what has the party did for us? Locally, nationally, or statewide? Here in the state of Florida, the party can't do anything statewide because the state controls the House and the Senate in the state of Florida. So they get their ass kicked on a regular basis. And all they do is stand up in the hall and scream and holler, and they basically can't do nothing unless they vote out the governor, which we have a couple weak candidates. So again, here we go. First question. Luke, I'm the president of the Miami-Dade Democratic Black Caucus. We're planning a town hall meeting soon at St. Matthew's Church. We would like to have you present. I would love to be there. No question about it. And I would urge everyone, what day is this? I have no problem on this platform to advertise it. Always send me something in my DM. Every now and then I look at it. But that's a great thing because, again, a place where we'll be able to go in and I can probably get a lot of answers to a lot of questions, at a function like this. So I'll definitely be able to come there because I'm deep into this politics. I want to see us. I'm not one of those ones that like to sit here and just complain. Complaining doesn't get anything done. We need to know one thing. Elections have consequences. You lose an election, it has consequences. If you lose, then especially to the next party, that party is going to do the things that is needed for that party. And so when you lose and when you don't go vote, then you lose, then you can't complain. I can complain because I went out and voted. But I know, we lost in some cases. But we won in some cases. And the question becomes, are we better off now than we were 4 years ago, 8 years ago, 10 years ago? What does the future look like for African Americans? I guess that is my question. And I mean, y'all can put it in the comment section and I'll post it. Again, what does the future look like for African Americans going forward? Is it a bright future? Because last time I checked, everything that they do is based on a 4 to 8 year plan. So if there's a bill passed now, it may trickle down to us and affect our kids. I got a 12-year-old in there. What happens now, the policies that are put in place right now will affect him when he gets 18 years old. And that's how everybody needs to look at this. Some of these things take time. And again, we don't think like that. A lot of times we have a tendency of thinking in the present. And then my next question would be the politicians that we vote in. How are they doing for you guys? Especially the African Americans. How are they doing? Have things changed? Is there better opportunities? Or do you see a lot more Black millionaires? Because we're some bright ass people. And we create from the ground floor up. But then to get the same opportunity as somebody that don't look like us or don't have the same color skin of us, we for some odd reason we don't get those opportunities. Maybe I'm wrong. Look, I stand to be corrected. But I guess I'm gonna open it up to everybody. How do you guys feel about the Democratic Party? My first question is, what is the future of the party? What is the future of this party? Let me broaden the question out. let me clean it up a little better. Is the Democratic Party the future of African Americans? I know that's a tough question. I know that's a tough question. And let me see your comments. Is it the party of the future for African Americans? That child tax credit payment was helping a lot of families, but all of a sudden it stopped. We can't spend money for the war in Ukraine. That excellent point. Excellent point, Travis. Excellent point. It when I'm looking at Democratic president, Democratic House, Democratic Senate. We got one rogue senator, sometimes go crazy, but most of the time he vote with us. How can we go find all this money for Ukraine? Now I feel bad for them. How can we find all this money for Ukraine, but we can't find no money for African Americans in the United States of America? Just imagine they took all the money that they gave to Ukraine, the billions and billions of dollars that they gave to Ukraine, and and uh, and and they donated that back to African Americans. They gave us our 40 acres in a mule. Just imagine if that happened. A lot of things they could have did with a lot of that money. You got homeless people on the streets. Could have did could have did a lot for homeless with all that money. Take care of your own. One thing I'm going to say that, and I agree with the Republican Party. Take care at home first. You can only. It's like me. It's like us. We doing good. We're doing good, but our sisters and brothers are suffering. Our best friend can't pay their rent, but we're going in the club and we're going throwing up thousands of dollars in the club. But our homeboy who with us, he's suffering. His light is getting ready to get cut off. His truck is getting ready to be repossessed. What kind of shit is that? Don't you take care at home first? Or even more, you're about to get thrown out of your house. You're about to get your vehicle repossessed. But you're going to spending money and helping everybody else out and can't feed your family. That's why look, there's tons of wars going on in this country today. Let's keep it. In Africa, they've been having a war. That war has been lasting longer than the war between Jews and Muslims in Africa. They don't publicize that. Anything they publicize, then we have a heart. And then the heart is us sending money, therefore building arms. Who's getting the money? So they pump this through this propaganda machine into our households. You don't think it's a war going on in Haiti right now? You don't think it's wars going on in Africa? There are certain parts of Africa you can't go to. People living in impoverished situations. That America give millions and millions of dollars to that too. But we don't. You got to be people. You have to be really thinking when you see this shit. I know a lot of you guys work every day and you just see the sound bite. You come home, you either see the 6 o'clock news or the 11 o'clock news, and you just get a clip. And then over your phone, you'll get another clip. And over the radio, they'll be talking about it while you're driving to work and coming home in the traffic. You'll get another clip. But it's very important to go a little deeper into it. What I do myself is I look at the news on my phone. I got this little thing on the back, and I look at it in the shower. I'll get the full news from different outlets. I look at it in different situations while I'm doing some work here at my desk, and I'll be listening, but I'm typing. I find a way to get the news in and then make a decision for myself, not let Don Lemon, Gail, or anybody, or The View, or Anderson Cooper, or anybody. Nobody can influence me. Or some dude on Fox. We have to use our own common sense, because a lot of the shit that they pump into us is, majority of it is propaganda. Because you go to thinking like, what the fuck? We just spend X amount of billions of dollars in another country because we're publicizing it all day. Why they ain't publicizing the war in Africa? Why they ain't publicizing people in impoverished situations in Haiti? And that's just a couple countries. So what is it in? What is the deal? Why we ain't helping out the homeless? Why we ain't helping out putting internet in all African American communities? Why we ain't putting better putting money into schools? Why ain't we putting money into what they said? We're going to put money into African American colleges and universities. Why we ain't putting money into us? And I don't speak for brown people. I speak for black people. Because we are the ones who did what? They asked us to go out and vote. We went and did that. We got these people voted in. What have we gotten now? Please, somebody tell me. What have we got? What we got out of the deal? What we got out of the deal? Is Democratic Party the party of the future for African Americans? Are we just going to keep on just letting them pimp us for our vote? I'm not suggesting going to the Republican Party, because that shit just is worse. Both parties, in my opinion, play on the intelligence of all Americans, and all of us get caught up in that vacuum, and we get caught up in that in that bullshit that we see. Oh, I'm a card-carrying Republican, and I look at Fox News, and I don't like them Democrats. But are your life better? Is your life better as a Republican? You getting money? No. The motherfuckers with them suits on in Washington, D.C. who selling us the bullshit, they're the ones who get the money. Because they're pitting us against each other. We're sitting here fighting against each other, and what happens? What happens? They put us against each other so they can get us energized to vote for them, so they can keep making the money. They go sit up at the yacht club in DC, all of them together. You saw them fighting on Fox News or fighting on CNN, and them motherfuckers sitting there drinking Louis the 13th together, having a ball, laughing at the American people because they just feel like, oh, we just got over on them. And we go for the okie doke. So now we have to play politics on the politicians. And the way you play politics on the politicians is you have to do what? Understand the game. And if you understand the game, and you know that the leverage you have is your vote. The leverage you have is your vote. And when you don't allow them to take advantage of your vote, you know what happens? When you leverage your vote and say you want this, and that, now they got to play ball with you. See, I'm a wild card. I'm a lone soldier, because they know you know, a lot of people listen to me in South Florida and around the country, and they kind of tend to vote in a little Luke block because they know if I support a candidate, then that candidate got to be on point. And even if I support a candidate, and if the candidate fucked me, made some promises, and I jumped out there and support them because I supported you, don't mean I'm not going to be critical of you. I am going to be critical of you even if I support you, because I'm going to hold you responsible and your feet to the fire. I don't see a lot of things that even the black politicians. Where the fucking money? Anybody want no $15 job? Where's the opportunity? Where's the opportunity? Where your black congressmen, commissioners, mayors, state reps, where's the town hall meetings that says, here are the opportunities that we have for African Americans? And not no bullshit $5,000 business grant. What the fuck is that going to do? No, where are the real opportunities? I'm going to use this for an example. How do we stop gentrification? How do we stop our communities being gentrified instead of being beautified? They don't want to talk about that. They don't want to talk about that. Majority of the things that I get done in my community, people see me getting a lot of things done in my community. It ain't through black politicians. I have to call up Republicans. And they know I don't even fuck with them like that. I'm not voting Republican. They respect that. They respect that I'm a card carrying Democrat, but they still have a better conscience and a better heart. And if you come to them with an ideal to do for the people of your community, they ain't got no problem with it. They ain't like the devil, like people make them. The fucking devil is the people who you think that ain't the devil. It's amazing. So I work with worldly people who are just for the people. Damn what your party affiliation is. What you gonna do for the community? I'm gonna bring in this young lady. She's a community activist. Her name Crystal Foster. She's been doing a lot of work within the community of Miami. She's been fighting for, you name it, fighting for justice, for police brutality. She's been fighting for parents. Her new fight is kids getting bullied in school. And Crystal Foster, what's up, Miss Foster?
Hey, Uncle Luke, how you doing?
How you doing? Thank you for coming on tonight.
All is well. I appreciate it. You having a great discussion. I think is needed, and the people need to hear it and hold people accountable.
Thank you. I mean, that's what it's all about. Me and you both, we stand out there. We go hard in the paint. We go fighting for the community. We go fighting for the kids. I've told you many times. I'm just all about the kids more so than these adults, because I think a lot of adults are lost. A lot of adults are not lost. And I'm gonna say this: the things that are happening in the community of Miami, they're happening in every other city in America. It's no different. It seems like they have a blueprint, a playbook, an African American playbook. We're going to gentrify their neighborhoods. Number one, how do we gentrify the neighborhoods? We let crime go rapid through the community. The state attorneys don't put nobody in jail until the community get gentrified. Then the police start policing. And before you know it, African Americans are pushed out. Parents who parents whose houses have been left down to their family from their mother and daddy. They end up leaving because the crime is too much, selling it to somebody who don't look like them. They end up buying the house, redo the house, rent it to somebody who don't look like them. Community is gentrified just that fast. And then now, it happens. We could talk about all kind of things, but explain to us this whole bullying thing that you're dealing with right now.
Well, not to go deep into it, but it's happening everywhere. I think that kids has came to a point where social media is, the cyberbullying has gone beyond, you can name it. The social media is one of the biggest part of bullying, and people are not monitoring it. The schools are not monitoring it, and it becomes an issue with the school board. And again, not to speak a lot on it, but a close friend of mine who I completely adore, her child was bullied. And long story short, was left unconscious. And this school has been having so many issues they've had over 40 fights in this one school year, and nothing has been done. The mom is strong. She's definitely holding people accountable, and they just arrested the students. And I just think that, as parents, as the security has been involved. They've been sending multiple emails for interventions, and the principal just is ignoring it. And I just think that the reason why this particular situation became on the headlines is because a lot of people are on the movement. When you speak in ears, like when you're on the news and you're pushing it in the media and you're just actually continuing being consistent, it makes change. And that's in everything, Uncle Luke. And in our community, the city council meetings, the board commissioner meetings, I feel like if everyone, not to get outside of this situation, but I just feel like if everyone had a little, you don't need knowledge. I don't know a lot about politics. I just know what I experienced. And what I know is that there's a lot of corruption. There's a lot of people covering for each other. And as people, as a community, if we all come together in these meetings and apply pressure, we can definitely make change. Change is on us. I mean, I just don't understand 2020, 2021. These commissioners, these politicians received so much money from COVID. There was so much money dispersed in our community, and we're so blind to it, and nothing's been given to the community. Like you mentioned, the housing has increased to the max. What are we doing? People are homeless, living in shelters and in hotels, in their cars. It goes on, and the domestic violence with mental illness has increased tremendously. I think this is the highest it's ever been. What are they doing? No one's saying anything. No one's standing on the forefront for the community, fighting for the community. What are we doing? What do we do, Uncle Luke, as the people?
Hey, listen, this is a good comment here from Miss Trina Robinson. She said our mayor proposed $10 million for Black Home Ownership Fund proposed in the mayor's browser. Okay, 2023 budget should have 10 billion. Then the homes are 600,000. I mean, listen. Let me say this about bullying. That is a very, very touchy subject because you have that going on in schools every day. And you see it on TV. You see the case that you were dealing with. You know, it's you. It is no education for that. I mean, I think a lot of I'll say this: a lot of people in the school system kind of gets immune to it. You see fights in the school. Uh, Principal, teacher pull the kids to the side. Hey, y'all work it out. Go on about their business. Then before you know it, they're fighting outside. How did the fight started? How did the fight start? Uh, it started from bullying. It started from looking at each other, or it started from something minor because it's nothing that serious in school. You know, I spoke to some students one day. I was driving by and I saw them out there fighting. I'm like, so what are you guys fighting about? Is it a girl or is it some money? Because us adults, we either fight about money or girls. One of the two. No. He looked at me. She looked at me. Some kind of way. I mean, now, would you fight somebody you think you can beat? No. Would you fight that person? Nope. Well, that's bullying. And just like you say, there needs to be more conversation, more communication, not just, okay, you two got in a fight, y'all go about y'all business. At that point, there should be a system within the school system where they grab those kids and they have consultation with them. They have a whole lot of conversation. So we get to the point of saying, well, we fought in school. We went back and became friends. It's okay. These kids ain't built like us. They're totally different. These kids are not built like us. And so when I see these things are having it's worse because we never thought about taking a gun to school. We never thought about being depressed. We ain't never had a shrink as African Americans. There wasn't no damn shrink. You know, we couldn't say, okay, all right, well, I need counseling because my mama whooping my ass so much and my daddy is beating me so much that I'm having a mental breakdown. It's these kids are not built like we were built. They need more. They need at least 2 or 3 counselors on deck at every
Absolutely. I totally agree with you.
you know
And not to
because
mention,
mental health is serious. You see athletes, you see uh major professional athletes making millions of dollars. I mean, these kids are more depressed, Crystal, than you can imagine. Just because what they have access to is what we did not have access to, which is this social media. And the social media makes grown motherfuckers depressed. Because grown motherfuckers go looking onto the social media and saying, oh, I ain't got that money to get that hair that she got, or them eyelashes she got, or the breast job she got,
mm-hmm,
or the car he got, or the bling bling he got, or the Cuban link he got, or the diamonds he got. And these people go home and they be depressed because they want to live that same life. And a lot of times a lot of times they enter into that kind of money and they blow it because they want to try to catch up. So a lot of people are depressed. A lot of people are not happy with themselves because they think. I talked to a young lady a few months ago, and the lady was saying, "I'm depressed," and I say, "Why? You have an education, you finished college, you got a great job. Why are you depressed? Why are you not happy with yourself?" Well, because I haven't accomplished the things that I want to accomplish. To make a long story short, it became, why don't I have that man that the other women have on social media?
mm-hmm,
And when you do the numbers, you do the numbers and you look at the census, and the census say that African American men ain't in the 1%. A lot of that shit you see on social media, either they're entertainers,
mm-hmm,
athletes, or scammers. Let's just
mm-hmm.
keep it 100.
Yes.
And that's what you see on there. And there ain't no large number of them. It's the same people over and over and over. And unfortunately, the few people in the entertainment business, it's the few that's in the entertainment business, all of them ain't got it like they saying they got it. They just
Mm-hmm.
doing a music video before your eyes. They borrowing the link to put on their neck to then shoot a damn what you call it. They're going out there renting the jet.
Prop money, yes.
They're renting the jet. They ain't flying no goddamn well. They're renting the jet to sit in the jet to take a picture.
Yep.
And so you're depressed that why I ain't like that? I'm just as pretty as she is. Why I ain't sitting on the floor at the Heat game? Why I don't have these things? I'm just as pretty.
But it goes to like this gentleman just said, there's not enough men standing on the forefront. It's women. The women are doing all of this, and there's not enough men standing on the forefront. That gentleman, read that comment. He made a lot of sense.
Really, just right here.
Yes.
You need men to have conversations about different emotional trials that's handed down. But you're perfectly right, Willie. We need more men to have more conversation, and I always say it's nothing good coming out the butt. It needs to be work. It needs to be both ways. These feminist women, we need women and men to play their role. This new thing of black feminist women, that ain't us. Now that's a whole nother ball game. Because in my definition of feminist women is the ones who want to fight black men, who want to look down on black men, who want to, I'm a professional, so I ain't cleaning the house. And I'm not I'm not cooking and cleaning. We're going to eat out of motherfucking styrofoam. And you can't tell me nothing. That's the biggest one. You can't tell me nothing when the black man said, I want to sit down, let's have a conversation. Let's sit down and have a conversation, sweetheart. I'm the man of the house. No, well, it's a 50-50 deal. I ain't no motherfucking man. You ain't the motherfucking man of the house. And the people who live like that, we work together. But the people who live like that, you see them at dinner, they're having a good time. You see them on vacation, having a good time. You see them holding hands, having a good time in the mall. You see them living a beautiful life, and they're able. Those women and men are strong enough to keep other people out their fucking business. No, don't bring the shit that the way you live into my house.
But the thing is, nowadays,
so we're losing that.
Yes. We are.
You was getting ready to say something?
Yeah, I was about to say, a lot of women also made it too comfortable for these men. You know, back in the days, it wasn't easy access. Now these women are just doing whatever it takes. You know, they making it seem like, you know, men are obligated to buy Chanel bags and all the designer clothes, and you know, they just making it so easy. So when you have a loyal black woman to come on board, is no challenge because they have all the easy access women get, just handing it out to them. So as a woman, what do? You know, a woman can come in with morals, loyalty, and respect and say, listen, like you mentioned, half and half. But when you have a man that's been, given, he has 10 women down the line that has easy access, you don't have a chance. So, again, it goes back to, like you say, it's both ways. It's a whole new generation out here, Uncle Luke. It's just so sad that it has come to this, and we need more conversations. We definitely need more conversations.
And see how we started talking about politics, and we segue into the black home, because that's where it starts. It starts and ends at the black home. It starts and ends with the education of the black family. It starts and ends with the black family coming together, because at the end of the day, that is the foundation of all politics. That is the foundation and the root of whether we are okay as a people, because the things that we teach our kids and the life that we live really is a reflection of our community. And that's why I always thought that is why they always advertise fucking HUD houses, welfare checks to them. But if you get this welfare house and you get this HUD house and this welfare food stamps and cards and shit, you cannot have the black man in your house. If you have the black man in your house, you will not get all of these benefits. And so if I have you guys separated 9 times out of 10, your kids are going to have a separated household as well. And your race is going to be separated as well. See how that play? And so it goes back to just like you say, the lady said on here earlier, these women need to let these men be men. As a woman, we need to allow these men to be men. That is the most important thing in the world. So if you let a man be a man and a woman be a woman, that gets passed on to the kids because they understand. You got a boy in the house. My dad is a man. My mom allowed him to be a man. My mom loved me. The girl in the house, I know how to be a woman because I'm being taught by a woman. And I know how a man's supposed to treat a woman because I look at how my daddy treat my mama. And how my daddy loves me and how the mother loves the son. Teaching them how relationships supposed to really be. And therefore, when we then come up and it's time to vote and it's time to make sound decisions as a family, you're teaching those kids. Like I learned everything about politics from my great uncle and my daddy and my mama. I ain't just got into politics. That shit was in my house. The conversation was in my house. And so that's why all of my brothers were able to become millionaires. Straight out of Liberty City in a 2-bedroom house with a total of 7 people in there. So we look at our situation as a great situation. Mama and daddy stayed in the house, and daddy custodian, mother beautician. Daddy on the weekend, him and his friends, first business they purchased was a little barbecue spot on 15th and 62nd. Him and his friends, they want to be entrepreneurs. They want to own their own little barbecue spot. And when you're a beautician, you're an independent contractor. The more you go to work, the more you make money doing hair. So when you see these things in your house and then when you come home, they talk about politics. My daddy hate pastors.
And why is that?
He hated pastors. That's a whole nother fucking broadcast. But my point is this. Let me ask you this question. Where do you see black politicians doing any good in the black community?
Absolutely not. Okay. I think that, I wasn't, like you mentioned, unfortunately, I'm learning politics through, a tragedy that happened in my household, losing my brother to a police officer, fighting my own battles, his case, and learning how, these politicians work. I had no knowledge of politicians, but, as you go through COVID allowed us to learn about, the elections and politicians and how they move. And for me, I just feel like we are blessed. This is the first, and maybe some it's very rare in some states. We have Black African commissioners. We have people in place to help our community who was raised in the situations that we've been raised. And to see that they have not been given any money back to our community is an issue. It's an issue for us, and to see how we are continuing to vote these same politicians in because of the friendship that they have, or any type of relationship, or because they gave turkeys to their organization. It's okay to vote for these people, not knowing what policies they're going to put in place, not knowing what their agenda is. And it's just so sad to see that we are allowing this to happen and no one's holding anyone accountable. I mean, the crime has increased in all states. The crime has increased in all states. They and let's be honest, the more crimes, the more shootings, the more deaths that happens in your community, the more money the cities get. They put a proposal out and they get all this money. So when the FTX arena was remade and they gave all these people, all these commissioners money, it was supposed to, put into our community so we can decrease. We can't stop the shootings, but we can definitely put in some valid resources that works into the community to, allow us to minimize these shootings and these deaths and mental illness. Nothing has been done. When I tell you, I haven't seen not one person speak on these issues, and the people are afraid to speak. But Uncle Luke, you and I, we definitely always, we for the people. I don't get paid for this. You don't get paid. You're a father first, a coach, and you mentor your children, and your children that lives, that comes from poverty and that's raised in these neighborhoods are doing well in your program. So your resources work, but it's just unfortunate that we don't have that in our city. And honestly, I don't even know what to say. All I can say is we have to blame ourselves. We have to blame ourselves because we complain and complain, but we're sitting in line voting for the people that are not doing anything. And it's affecting your household that your grandparents raised you in, when they having these developers come into your community and they pushing you out. And now you lost all of your historic moments that you've had in this household due to your leadership that allowed these people to come and buy out the property and raise the rent. So what do we do?
Listen, you said a mouthful, and just like you say, people all over the country. I mean, Tanya in St. Louis, she just say, and she lives in St. Louis, and they got potholes in all the streets. But at the same time, I'm pretty sure somebody came to Tanya and said, Tanya, I need your vote. Somebody that looks like her. Again, young lady here says, I didn't vote for our mayor. She didn't vote for the mayor. But that, I don't think not voting is the right thing to do. But again, I always get on my platforms and I say, I challenge the elected officials like I'm gonna challenge them tonight. How many African Americans you made millionaires from your hometown? Whether you in Duval, whether you in Arizona, whether you in Texas, whether you in Atlanta, whether you in Miami, whether you in Fort Lauderdale, how many people from your community you made millionaires? There's a lot of African American businesses that are open. Restaurants, they could be turned into franchise with the help of the government. The streets that those restaurants are on, they could be paved and cleaned and open up more businesses next to those businesses. Why is it always about getting us a job, working $15 an hour, other than owning a business? And like you say, you look for these politicians to do these things. I look at our community and I don't really see too much, because before a lot of guys were elected, African Americans we're giving less than 2% of county contracts, school board contracts to African Americans. Less than 2% went to African Americans. And the number's still the same. Until that number move, that is when I will say that African American politicians are doing something. And you can't tell me that any city in the United States of America, I know we got people on here from all across the country, every one of your cities, you know a black contractor. You know a black restaurant. Let's use a restaurant for example. That black restaurant can be the restaurant that delivers the freaking produce to the schools. Multi-million-dollar contract just to have the contract to deliver milk. Hey, look here. It's real simple. Let me bring in all the people in my area. I represent this area here in California. I ask y'all for y'all votes. Let me bring all y'all, hey, look, staff, I want you guys to go and look at everybody within our community. I want to know what they're doing and what they're not doing. And everybody that came from the community. When it's time for us to build, I need to know, I need to have a database of every construction worker in my district. I need to know in my district, I need to have town hall meetings in my district to find out how many contractors are in my district. I might have a plumbing contractor, an air conditioning contractor. So now when it's time to build in my district, I'm helping you, Philip. I'm helping you apply and bid for the job because that is the way I make millionaires in my district. But a lot of politicians are so jealous of people they went to school with and people that are from their community because they don't want to see them surpass them. If you got money in the community, Crystal, you have no crime. You ain't burying no little girls and little boys who just got shot by a drive-by.
And someone made a comment and said, you know, you can't stop shootings. We're not speaking on, we cannot stop shootings. Think about it. Why do you think the crime rate is so high in a African American community and the Jewish community? There's no crimes. Make it make sense.
Make it make sense. Why is the Jewish community, you don't hear about any crimes? They come together, but you don't hear any crime. There's no crimes happening in their community. Make it make sense. I'll make it even better than this. Ain't no crime in my neighborhood. Knock on wood. And I live by white people, Bahamian people, Jewish people, Indians, all kinds of people. But you know the difference? All these people are working, and majority of these people own businesses. And their outlook on life is about their business because they put themselves in a position to do business. They're trying to figure out how to grow their business or maximize on their business. When you don't have those opportunities, even in this community, then people go into a survival mode. And when they go into survival mode, and then you take the educational component, because the schools that are around here that are adjacent to my community, these are high-end technology public schools that are highly educating the kids in this community. Is that happening in the black community, and that's why I don't even know nobody in this community. Because I do all my work in my community that I grew up with. Every day when I'm done working, I get my ass over there in my neighborhood, 62nd Street. But again, we all want to say we can't stop the shootings. Yes, we can. Take people out of the survival mode. Take a gun out of their hand and put a pen in their hand. Give them opportunities. That's why I challenge the politicians on.
And we're not,
they can stop it. If these kids, out of all my brothers went to college. I'm the only one that didn't go to college. LeBron James didn't go to college. His friends went to college. He's probably one of the most brilliant athletes that you'll ever meet. Kevin Garnett, articulate like a motherfucker, didn't go to college. He went fresh out of high school and went to the NBA, made millions of dollars, and still doing it right now today. Our kids are fucking brilliant. What we have a tendency of doing is, and most of them out of single parent household situation, what we have a tendency of doing is we downgrade our kids. But LeBron James and Kevin Garnett took what God gave them the gift of, that opportunity of being an athlete and doing business, and they ain't go the direction that some of their homeboys went. It's opportunity. Ain't nobody looking for no handout. It's opportunity. We put our kids in a situation where they become in survival mode. If we educate our kids the proper way, and we have things set up for, if they're parents, if we're utilizing and maximizing the businesses that are in the inner city, and we're putting us first, and when we put us first, when we get these contracts, and part of the contracts is you got to reach one, teach one. We don't even know how to be carpenters no more. When I grew up, I had to go work on my uncle's painting truck and learn how to paint. Our kids don't even know that no more. You know why? Because the parents ain't got a fucking carpenter job. It was grown up into the family. That don't even exist no more. And so once you become a carpenter, working on a construction site, what do you want to do then? You want to own the motherfucking construction site. You want to own your own construction company. I know a young man right now today, we helped him go to college, and he went and got his license, worked for one of the biggest construction firms in the state of Florida, in the country. Always had he wanted to own his own construction company, so he did his time learning how the business worked, and then he said, okay, I'm going to own my own construction company. Young man out of Miami Gardens. Started his construction company, and he struggles with getting business from the county, the city, and the government. Most of the business he do is from out of state. And you would think we would be, we got a guy from Miami Gardens, and he owns a construction company. Shit, bring your ass on in here. And that's all over the country. The same thing happened all over the country. Unfortunately, the guys in Atlanta, I love what they're doing. I look at Killer Mike, T.I., and all them. Their government works with them. They give them the funding to start the museums and start businesses and gentrify neighborhoods. They have these guys a part of that. But you know what we do? We'll go get somebody from New York, and give them $5 million to open up a restaurant before we'll give another Negro that in Miami.
That's right. You nailed it. You right about that. Or have someone from Pennsylvania come to one of our parks and start a program instead of giving it to one of our locals. It's you know, we
and they're doing this all over the country.
Exactly.
This is happening all over because we don't want to see us prevail. We don't want to see us come up. And again, that automatic, if I can take 5 families, and each one of them families, I can go in the Black community right now and say, and I do it when I go speak to the kids in the jailhouse. I say, okay, this is what I do. We're going to start a record company in the jailhouse, in the juvenile jailhouse. Who, I say, by show of hands, who could draw? And they have a couple kids, and they put their hand up, and I say, why he could draw? Oh, no, he could draw real good. He draw these pictures and all that there. Okay, good. You sit over there. You are the art designer in the record company. You're going to design the album covers. So who in here can rap? Oh, he can rap. Who in here can sing? She can sing. Oh, he can sing. Okay, let me hear what you got. Oh, is he better than him? Yeah, he the shit. You're our rapper. So where should we take his music at? Oh, I know. We should take the music to the radio station, and we should take we're gonna take it we're gonna take his music to the strip club. Ha 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 ha. Everybody laughing. You're the marketing director. So when he get the money, what should he do with the money? He need to invest. Oh, I got it. He need to invest his money and put it in the bank and invest it in the mutual funds. You're the manager. Where should he do shows at once we get him? Oh, he should be doing shows with this artist, that artist. You're the road manager. Just made a goddamn record company in the jailhouse. And my point is, there are entrepreneurs in every African-American community. And I guarantee you, those same kids who grab guns and go shoot, if their parents were living and were being able to pass something down to them, tangible, if their parents were doing what me and you and everybody else on here doing something productive, and they're providing knowledge and providing for their kids, and they're getting ready to lead their kids some shit, I guarantee you them kids will not have any admiration to go and pick up no gun, to go down there and shoot nobody, because 9 times out of 10, they'll be looking up to their dad and up to their mama and saying, I want to be like mom, I want to be like dad, and working within the family business. So we sit up here and make these goddamn excuses. It ain't no excuse.
Mm-hmm.
It's because we're living like savages. These people have nothing. And they have no out. Well, they need to get their shit together, and they need to do like you, Luke. Shit, I got lucky. I'm DJing at parties. Yeah, it's going to be a whole lot of other ones, other kids. But when you have this government that has these millions and millions of dollars, like you say, to go in and fight crime, would you say FTX gave the commissioners X amount of dollars to go and fight crime? That is how you fight crime. I say don't wait, Crystal, until don't wait till summer to give kids summer jobs. I say get their ass a job year round.
There's not even enough summer jobs. The thing, and also let's go back to the studio. How about putting money into a studio and providing free sessions so that these young men that are out here trapping can go into the studio and drop the music while instead. You know, a lot of these kids really, in truth, you know, let's be honest, a lot of these kids really love music. And that's their outlet, because they don't get that love at home. A lot of them don't get love at home. You know, back in the day,
They love music, they love sports.
mm-hmm.
They could fucking get your phone. My son, 12 years old, could get my phone and teach me how to work the phone. They could be put in script. Let me tell you something, what I do and what I've done for all my career. Let me share this with the few people we got on here and the rebroadcast of the people. I've always looked at my artists and had conversation with them to find out what are the things that they like. What are the things that they're into? And I then told them, these are the things you need to be rapping about. Things that you're comfortable and knowledgeable of. And that is no different than kids. What do you like? You like the social media? No different than what I just explained to you in the jailhouse. You like the artwork? Let's expand on you being a great artist. You want to rap? You don't have to be the rapper. If you want to rap, that's fine. If you want to sing, that's fine. But the most important part of that is to understand the business you're in. So if you want that microphone that bad, I create a curriculum within the school system to teach you the business. Now you know business 101, because business, whether it's in the music business or whether it's in owning a McDonald's or owning a restaurant or owning a goddamn tire shop, it's business 101. It's the same business. So now I got you in a business frame of mind. So you might don't end up in the music business, but your mind is on business. You might end up owning some eyeglasses company.
You know, I heard I was listening to someone's conversation the other day at a nail shop, and one police officer, she was actually sitting there, and she said, well, there's a lot of resources out here, they're not using them. But here's the issue is, once again, there's a lot of resources out here, but how effective are they? They're not effective, because the people are providing funds. You have politicians giving the funds to organizations that are not doing the work. There's a lot of grassroots organizations out here that don't receive anything, but because your relationship you have, they're doing backdoor deals. Those are the ones that are not doing the work, that's receiving all this money.
You're right. Just like McKinney said, Robinson, kids need to understand and have guidance from within the house and the household. Perfectly right. Perfectly right. But you're right, Crystal. There's a lot of resources out here, but who are they available to? And what resources are available? That's the question. What's available? And who is it available to?
And I'm just saying, put it out there. I just saw on the news over the weekend, you have an aide of one of the biggest commissioners that we currently have, a politician that was just recently arrested for racketeering and stealing over $100,000. A big commissioner. So I don't see any other politicians standing on the forefront, holding people accountable, speaking on these issues. So, you know,
listen, you're going to have that, unfortunately, Crystal, you're going to have that on a regular basis, because what they call it is access. When you're sitting up in the office and you're seeing all this money fly through the office and you see these opportunities fly through the office, you have to be strong enough not to put your hand in the pot. And when you put your hand in the pot, then there's a lot of times you will get burned. And a lot of times before they got burnt, they put their hand in the pot and they never got burnt. So then it gets worse and worse and worse. So again, You have those situations, but we play with peanuts. We fucking play with peanuts. We are giving, a lot of people are giving out peanuts to the people, the little hush money peanuts. Until we create millionaires within the community, that's when you'll clean up the crime. Because I can tell you one thing, just like you say, when the kid go home and look at mama, and mama just barely making ends meet, and the kid getting on the social media and looking at all this beauty cars and pretty cars and all this wild shit on there on the social media, they want to be that. They want to do that. They want to get those things. Then they get frustrated. Then they go to school and they get their grades, and when their grades don't come out right, they can't go to college because they ain't looking at college as an option. But then the enticing thing sits over here, this little thing. You can get this fast money. You can get that Cuban link you want. But now, in order to get that, you're going to have to do some criminal shit. You're either going to have to be a scammer or you're going to have to go and shoot somebody and take their shit. That's a mentality of, this is the only opportunity I have, is to go take some shit and be a criminal. There's no other opportunities that are presenting itself around here. When I look at my mom and my daddy, they ain't got it. And some of the parents are damn near pushing the kids out there to go get it, to then bring it home to them.
They don't have food on the table. They're not eating.
Listen,
they're about to get evicted. It's just it's so sad.
And now, you run the cost of living up to 60%. You run the damn mortgages up to 60%, and people living out there on the streets. I'm looking at the news every day in LA, and we got a lot of people on here from LA. And I'm looking at the news. I don't know how bad it is. I don't know whether it's propaganda or not. But it make it seem like they just robbing motherfuckers on the street. It's like a dog-eat-dog world out there, and they just robbing people in LA for no reason. And they just going to rob motherfuckers because they got to get it. I mean, this shit is going, you see the kids going up inside the Louis Vuitton store in Georgia and everywhere else, and they going in there taking all the shit out of the Louis Vuitton store. We're seeing this. Shit is going on right now. No opportunity. But if you had the opportunity to own your own goddamn store, you'll be more focused on that than going to put a mask on and going to Robinson. You have to think about it. You have to come up with think about it. We talk about scammers. Do you know them motherfuckers smart? To come up with a scam, to scam, them motherfuckers is very smart and intelligent. Just imagine if they put they had opportunity to put the smarts and them intelligence into doing the right thing, doing the right business, how productive they would be. And how productive would their homeboys be? I always say it'd be brilliant shit when they first came out with the phone. They were jailbreaking the phone. It was black kids jailbreaking the phone. They came out with the satellite cable and the card that you stick in. We were jailbreaking the card. You got black kids right now jailbreaking the goddamn Fire Stick. We are brilliant people. These people that took millions and millions of years in software in Silicon Valley to come up with some shit this big called Fire Stick, and we jailbreak that motherfucker. And go right to the beauty salon and to the barbershop and say, hey man, they got a Fire Stick. That bitch jailbreak got all the channels in the world on there. Just imagine they took that knowledge and put that shit into something productive, but we won't get those opportunities. Because the only opportunities is gonna be available for us to sing, dance, tell a joke, run up and down the football field, the basketball court. We're the entertainers of the world. They ain't gonna let us own the football team. They ain't gonna let us own the basketball team. They ain't gonna let us own the hockey team. They ain't gonna let us own the record company. We're gonna work for them. So all you brilliant-minded motherfuckers, y'all keep becoming the scammers.
And you want to tell your audience is, we really speaking on this is because I think it's more conversations need to be, we need to have more conversations. You have to hold your leaders accountable in your cities. We are right now we are living in our last minutes. We are living in our last minutes. I mean, people are
Where
still
going to be in 20 years when your son become 21 years old. What the fuck are we leaving him?
It's just so sad because people still not working, so they sit in a household. That's where the domestic violence is happening. Now the kids are, they have to sit through this. Kids are being abused. We just got to hold people accountable, and we have to vote. We really have to go into our city councils, our commissioner meetings. You don't have to know politics. Just get involved, just like I did. Get involved. Know how much money's in your city. Know how much money, number one, is in reserve. This is money that's just been sitting that no one has used. No one even mentions. Know how much money is in your city. Get people together. Get people together and make some noise in these meetings. And I can promise you, they will be on pins and needles once they realize that you all are watching every move that they make. It's unacceptable. And you know who's suffering? We suffering. Our children are suffering. And you know who we have to hold accountable? Ourselves, because we allow it.
We need to hold ourselves accountable. And that is the most important part of it all. Because we're the ones sitting up here going for the okie doke. We're voting for these politicians and not asking them for their platform. What's your platform? Oh, I'm going to be tough on crime. I'm going to fight crime in the neighborhood. Yeah, because we see a lot of crime. Oh, I'm going to get everybody a job in the neighborhood. And I'm going to make sure everybody get affordable housing. And I'm going to have a first-time homeowner buy program to get people and keep people within the community. I'm going to clean up the streets. That's the average platform that they run on every year.
And the only time you see
jobs and build in the community. And you know what happens? They take the community, they take the property that they own, they give it away to the contractors. The contractors come in and build condominiums within the community. They then allow crime to run rapid through the community, and then those law firms come in and buy the houses within the community, and those people end up remodeling the houses. Then they let people live in the houses that are not Black. They rent to non-African Americans, and what ends up happening, the community becomes gentrified. And the Black politicians don't realize that he's on a time limit as well, because his area has now went from 100% African Americans to 23% to 23% white and Hispanic. Then the next year it becomes 37%, and now it's at 47%, because you allowed these things to happen by getting this little bit of money from the lobbyist who's putting the money into your campaign, who's getting the money from the developer and the people who are into gentrifying your neighborhood. You put no money into education, into the schools in your community to keep people uneducated, keep kids uneducated, less opportunities. You keep the number within your government of African American contractors under 2%. So if it's under 2%, you are not creating any millionaires. So you're creating a blighted neighborhood, impoverished situation. and putting people in a situation where they have to rob, steal, or become homeless. And unfortunately, that is what black politicians are doing to black people. They come sit up in the church, look cute. They got a good sales pitch, no different than a fucking pimp. And they sell us the bullshit. We don't go out and vote. We don't ask them for their platform. We don't hold them accountable. And they're our friends, and they went to the same high school we went to, and we're voting for them for all the wrong reasons, other than the things that they're doing on their track record. And they go back in year after year after year after year after year, term after term after term after term. And the community still looks raggedy after raggedy after raggedy after raggedy. And this is not only happening in Miami, Florida, this is happening everywhere in the United States of America, because I travel all over the country and I see it happening all the time. And I have think tank conversations with individuals, whether I'm in Detroit, whether I'm in Chicago, whether I'm in Cleveland, whether I'm in LA, whether I'm anywhere in America. It's the same fucking thing. It's the same blueprint that they're using all across the United States of America. They play us like a fucking the Nintendo game. And we go for it. Find a nigga that you can put on a little Armani suit, who want to cheese and smile, and the only thing he feel like he did it when he's sitting in the room with a bunch of white guys. That's the nigga you put your money on. You run him for office. You interview each and every individual candidate. And if they talking some Luke shit or some crystal shit or some shit about empowering black people, that's not the person we want to put our money on. Matter of fact, we need to call the state attorney and put that motherfucker in jail.
Oh, let's not get on this state attorney.
That motherfucker right there him and her, their problem. They're what you call a menace to society. We ain't gonna get on that, but I'm trying to tell you that's the game.
Yeah, we're not gonna get on that.
These folks got the game, and we just sit up here. That's why it be killing me. Oh, I'm gonna vote. They jumped on me, Crystal, and you know this for a fact. They jumped on me because I did not support Andrew Gillum. How dare Luther didn't support Andrew Gillum? How you didn't support, and why wouldn't you support Andrew Gillum? Ooh. I supported Andrew Gillum when he won the nomination. When he won the nomination, I supported him. In the primaries, I did not support him. Because when I sat down and talked to that brother about the things that his platform and what he was going to do for the African American community, and I asked him, well, brother, you're getting all this money from these special interest groups, and when you get all this money from these special interest groups, you're going to have to pay them back. When you're getting all this motherfucking money from Morgan & Morgan, and Morgan & Morgan wants to be into the marijuana business, that don't look like no black people getting ready to get no marijuana license. That don't look, that look like that look like some of the people who put money into your campaign is getting ready to, you got to pay them back. And so you carve out the marijuana, you carve out the marijuana growing, you carve out the infrastructure, you carve out not giving a tax credit to African American business. What the fuck? What the fuck is left? So how are we supposed to? We won't ask them questions. Oh, we're AKA and we're this and that and we're sorority and that's my fraternity and that's and that, and then we can jump on this brother and we need to get behind the brother and all that.
Can we
the
go
brother
to
had no money. The brother had to sell a land and wasn't nobody put no money into the campaign that looked like us. And see, I say this to say to a lot of people, we have to get involved in the political process. You have to put money into the campaigns of good people, because the lobbyist is putting money into the black seat to control the black seat. That's why the black people, the black politicians don't do shit. Most of them don't do shit for their community.
Can you go to that comment? Sorry to cut you off. Can you go to that comment, what you just said, that Darnisha Lazen's comment, please? See, it's people like this is why our community is the way it is. Why is it once we get people in office, we always say they sell out or aren't doing for the community? They only can do so much. Well, let me ask, what have they done? What have they done? That's the situation here locally. No, they haven't done anything. Do you see the rates of crime have went up? Domestic violence has went up. The streets are still the same. The school system looks the same. No, this is a good conversation. Everyone
that's good. And Darnisha, don't trust me.
Yes.
We ain't arguing with you. We just
not at all. No, it's a great conversation.
It's just a question. It's just a question.
Yes, and it's a great question, because
what is the hold on. Let me put up that comment. So Darnisha, what is
great question?
That's a great question.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a great opinion. Mm-hmm. So the question is, what have you or anybody on here saw? Let's say the new crew of politicians in everywhere across the country, and this is a question for everybody across the country. What have the local? They've been in office for 2 years. You had the election 2 years ago, and most of these politicians are in office right now 2 years. What have you seen done? That's the question. What have the politicians that you voted for 2 years ago, whether they're the senators, whether the president of the United States, whether they're state representatives, whether they were the mayor, whether they were the county commissioner, the city commissioner, what have they done that you could share with us in the last 2 years? What have they done? So please, people, and we would love to hear this, because again, it's important. If they didn't do nothing, to hold their feet to the fire. And if they did do something, we need to glorify them and say, good job. We need to say, good job. What have they done? Do we got a bunch of people all over the country? I went to Anaheim, California, took my son to Disneyland, and I'm driving, and the driver, I say, driver, I don't see no damn people on the streets. And the driver said, oh, you don't know the rules and regulations of Anaheim. Our government built housing for the homeless. So if anybody homeless, they have some place to go. If they don't go there, then they take their ass to the next town. I said, wow, we could do that in the United States of America? Wow, that's absolutely great. I have a friend that has he opened up his little business, and he's been trying to get approved to open his business. Obviously, when he opened his business, he's going to employ people. He's been trying to get approval for damn near 3 years, but getting the runaround. So I want to know. Come on. Okay, here we go. St. Louis mayor gave qualified citizens $5,000, $500 for voting for her. She gave the citizens $500 to vote for her. If you qualified, I'm gonna give you $5 to vote for me. So if I'm giving you, Jesus Christ. So what did that mayor do for the people of St. Louis? Come on, St. Louis. What did the mayor do after she? Because again, okay, here locally, rebuilt the historical Black Park and put a pool and facilities that will give children access to programming and facilities. And where's that at? We got it took us at our park, it took me about 1, 2, 3. We went through 4 commissioners. We started out at Charles Hadley Park. I give you a good story here. Art Teal. Let me back up. I started going on a crusade of rebuilding the park and building a youth center at Charles Hadley Park, rebuilding the pool, putting a stadium there. I started this. Joe Ariola, he was the city manager, Crystal. And I went to Joe Ariola while Arthur Teal was still the commissioner. And I said, Joe Ariola, we do not have bathrooms at the park for the little girls and boys to use. Joe Ariola went and found some block grant money, which was $14 million for Charles Hadley Park. And he said, Luke, I got another $26 million for Gibson. And I say, Joe, thank you, Jesus. Joe then went to Art Teal, God bless his soul. Art, I got this money, him and Art fighting. I'm the mediator. I got to get this shit done. I called up Emmanuel Washington, Ben Hanks over at Overtown Optimist and say, man, we got $26 million. What do y'all want to get done over there? They say, we want to get a gymnasium built because Alonzo Mourning ain't letting us in that gym that they just built there. We want to get our pool redid under Art Teal, the Cuban named Joe Ariola. Joe Ariola said, okay, I got the money. The money was set aside. And then we said at Hadley Park, we need to get a youth center built with a gymnasium as well, because no gymnasium in the city of Miami. And we need bathrooms and facilities out by the football field. And we need to get the stadium redid in the home, and the seniors need to get that building redid because it needs to be secured to Carrie Meek Center. So then Teal goes and go to the Miami Herald, blow his head off. Boom. Teal is dead. Joe Ariola, who was working, he was working for free. He goes off into the pastor. He goes off into the pastor. Fuck this. I don't want to deal with this no more. Because he was working as a city manager for free. Give you a little story, Miss Deshawn. A lot of people see things happening right now, but then they don't know how the root of it all. So then now, Teal blows his head off. Commissioner Spence Jones ended up becoming the commissioner. Took me about a year to get in to meet with her, to tell her about the money that was set aside for Overtown that I had negotiated and worked out with Joe Ariola for Overtown, for Gibson Park, and for Hadley Park. Got in there, and I said, by then I said, fuck it. I'm gonna go and get this. I'm gonna go and get the company out of Boca to build us a building. And we ended up having the money. Ariola came back. Hey, look, we got this money. get into meeting with Spence Jones. What kind of building do you guys want? I understand where the money is now. So we're going to now get these projects back on track. Spence Jones get indicted. Then the pastor comes in to sit in her seat. And here we go again. You got a fucking whole new regime. You got that whole project stopped. And now they're taking money in the budget out of those budgets, those monies that was set aside. So you got the pastor, forget what his name, he's now the commissioner, interim commissioner until Spence Jones' case get over. We get nothing done. They're now taking the money that was set aside for both of these parks away.
And let's mention Spence Jones was a hell of a commissioner. She was a woman who really did her
thing. Spence Jones comes back in and we get the projects going back again. And then now, Spence, I don't want to do this shit no more. Then we get Commissioner Hardiman. And Commissioner Hardiman gets in. Commissioner Hardiman, we goes out there. We go to in order to get this shit built, we got to go. we got to go and support somebody. Mr. Hardiman, yes, okay, you understand this? We got to be proactive, then different than waiting till the commissioner get in because it takes a year to get to meet with these commissioners and shit. Hey, Commissioner Hardiman, here's what we got. We will support you, but just understand these are the things that are already set aside and put in place to get done. Yes, I'll take care. Okay, overtime, you need to go door to door. Hey, we over here. We need to go door to door. We get Commissioner Hardiman elected. Then he's cranked the shit back up. By then, the $14 million that was set aside to build at Hadley Park had been dwindled down to $6 million. So where the fuck did the money go? The money over there set aside $26 million for Gibson had to dwindle down to $14 million. They took the money. So now Commissioner Hardiman got to get creative, and then what he does, he goes and gets some money over here, and we get $8 million, and we can't get everything done that needs to be done. And we got a smaller version of the big version of the gymnasium, but we are happy. We got the park work under Spence Jones had started at Gibson, and it all that was already being built. And then you got to go through the bullshit with the seniors and the homeowners and all that, because when you have X amount of money, you got to fight with them. Because you give us a bag of money, we're never going to work it out amongst each other to get some shit done, but we worked through it and got it done.
That's why we need you to run. Just throwing it out there.
No, don't run me. And so I tell people these things. You have to be involved in what you said to the people all over the country. You got to be involved with all of this. You got to be involved. So yes, all these commissioners collectively and Commissioner Hardiman got these things done because they listen and they make shit happen. And then they help. Some of them will help with the funding of the program through the grants. But still with grants, people don't understand this. You got to have money in order to activate that money. They don't give you $70,000. You better have $70,000 to spend to then get the 70 back into your account. So that means you got to fundraise. That's how it works. People, that's how it works. So it takes a collective effort. But That's one aspect of it. Green space. Building green space. Building facilities for kids. That is one thing. But now, what other opportunities do I have available through the millions and millions and billions of dollars that we have I gotta now get my folks in these houses in my district. So my homeowners program has to be solid. I have to get the people, I have to hold the feet to the fire of the police chief, the damn state attorney to get crime out of my district. I have to then create opportunities for the grown-ups in my district so that they could afford to stay here. Not with no little $15 job, but they can afford because I have opportunities that they own businesses. And if they don't own no businesses, then I got to create living wages. And when I dig a ditch and I dig anything in my district has to be done by the people that live in my district. And it don't take a little bit of work. So the turkeys and toys, that's one aspect of it. The building of parks, recreational centers, places for the seniors to go, that's one aspect of it. How many millionaires from the community, not abroad, not from out of town, that I've created within my community and my district? That is how I am judged on. If I was the fucking mayor of Miami-Dade County, shit, the first motherfucker, it'd be a whole task force designed on finding the brightest of the brightest African Americans and the brightest of the brightest African American businesses within and entrepreneurs within our community and abroad. The ones who left and went and did business and are doing business in Atlanta, Detroit, Chicago, Washington, and trying to attract them to come back here because they're from here. But that's just me.
Look at Taisha's comment. Great comment.
Good evening, Uncle Luke and Crystal. We cannot continue asking for the opportunity for our community. We have to create them. You fucking right. We got to create them. And that is what we're doing. That is what we do. I do that. Let me tell y'all something. I don't make no money in Miami, Florida. If you go to my Instagram, Uncle Luke Real One, and you look on there, I posted my royalty statements. And my majority of my money come internationally. I don't make a fucking dime here. Not 1 cent. Any business that I tried to do with the county and the city, it got shot down. They sent me over to the Hispanic guys who put the money into the campaign of the other guys. And I refuse to do business like that. We was enslaved in this motherfucker. So I would probably never do business in Miami-Dade County using my own money. No different than them boys who just using their own money to give the city give them the property to build a damn stadium on. We have multi-millionaire African Americans in this community too. We ain't broke around this motherfucker. I could line up a group of guys that got over $100 million. I could line up a group of guys, 5 group of black men from Miami that have over $500 million right now. But with the $500 million, Crystal, they can't do no business. They can't get the same opportunities that other people get. They're not going to be able to get. They're not going to be able to beautify, not gentrify, but beautify their own community. They can't be the entrepreneurs that they can be. Mm-hmm. That's why you see me. I pose a question. I'm gonna keep posing on there. I want to buy Opa-locka Airport in the Black community. I have a group, and me and my family, we want to buy Opa-locka Airport. Now let's see which Black politician step up and say, let's make this shit happen. The same way they just gave the Cubans the damn, and I love Cuban people, the damn Mary Reese golf course and all these other places to build. It's in the Black community. The county owned it, bought it from Opa-locka. Ain't nothing happening over there. We have a great idea that we can create jobs and businesses. Not only jobs and business, great idea. No different than the idea that I took to the school board, Crystal, when I said I wanted to build a charter school at Miami-Dade College. And when I took the idea, nobody in the world, all our life, all your life, all my life, nobody had an idea to build a charter school at Miami-Dade College until Luther Campbell said, I'm going to put my money up to build a charter school at Miami-Dade Junior College, an elementary, a senior high, and a fucking junior high. And they told me no. And the Black ass lady at Miami-Dade College said no too. So we always be, we got the first Black this. It ain't always good to have the first Black something. And the Black people down at the Miami-Dade School Board say, no, we think that might not be a good idea. We can't give you the license to do that because you're going to be taking kids away from Miami Central. You're right. We don't want to hurt Central and Turner Tech. Let me go find another location. But you gave a license to the damn white people. That's what we do.
That took your idea.
And when I bring that to the attention, shit, the Black politicians supposed to be like, hold on, wait one motherfucking minute. We ain't letting that happen. Y'all ain't getting no construction permits. Y'all ain't getting no charter school permits. Y'all ain't getting motherfucking thing. That's your people standing up. But I'm pretty sure some of our Black people got greased along the way to let them do that. It's amazing. So when you got money, that don't mean, so everybody have a tendency of thinking, oh, well, we waiting for them to give us something. No, we come in there with the same bag of money that they come in there with. Hey, we want to do this.
Sad.
Hey, we want to build charter schools too. Hey, we want to build an Opa-locka Airport too. Hey, we want to build studios over here too.
We laughing, but it's so sad. It is so sad.
It's sad, Crystal.
It's sad. Yes, Chuck, it's very interesting. A very interesting discussion. And you know what, Uncle, we need more of this because you know why? You know why? People don't know. And, you know, people like us, you don't have, there's very few that will speak up and keep it real. And it has to be said because right now we living in, I keep saying that we living in our last minutes. And
we are living in our last minute. But
it's not a game. It's not a game.
We're going to get off of here, Crystal, and continue our dialogue offline. But the thing is,
we're going to challenge.
I hope that Black elected officials, Democratic Party, don't take this conversation as an insult. I hope they take this conversation as constructive criticism.
Amen.
And the way you look at it is you say, you know what? This fucking Luke and Crystal, they issued a challenge. And the challenge is how many African American businesses I can create in my community. How many African American millionaires can I create in my community? Because if I ain't doing that, if I want to hang my hat on, bringing in Sears into my community, I'm bringing in some major corporations to the community, talking about they're gonna give them some $5 jobs and shit. As you're aware, most people don't want them jobs. People want to own business. How many businesses in the community that I can create? How much crime that I've taken out of my community? How did I stop gentrification in my community? What are the things that I've done looking at the numbers going forward? That's the challenge. So don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at me. You can get mad at me. You get in your feelings. You can call me all kind of motherfuckers, and you can call me everything in the world. Because one thing about it, and two things for sure. I work for the kids of this community, just like you do. And these parents who have no voice, we work for the voices. So you can't hurt me.
It's all about results. And your results.
Because I don't make my money. I'm a fucking wild lone soldier. I could stop doing this shit tomorrow and go live in my house and make my motherfucking money and go all over the world and just say, fuck it.
Mm-hmm.
I can literally do that because they ain't gave me no $1 million contract. They ain't give me no motherfucking contract. Well, that's some of that money going to my house and going to my bottom line figure. No.
Well, Uncle Luke, I could tell you this. Me personally, knowing you a father first. You know, they make comments and say, well, you say these things in your lyrics and you're a father first. You're a mentor, a coach, and you are a hell of a mentor. I've seen you on the road. I've been on the road with you where you took your high school kids to every college it is to give them an opportunity and had a private session to where they've been signed on the spot. And you've changed so many of these kids' lives. And if the people knew who Luther Campbell is,
they don't need to, because the only person need to know is the man upstairs.
Amen.
And I'm gonna take your last question, Tanya. Miss Carter, that's the propaganda machine. I've owned several businesses within the community and around the country, and own companies around the country. People do want to work. I got kids right now every day that want jobs, that can't feed their family. Their parent can't feed them. They want jobs, and I get them jobs. So that whole notion of people don't want to work, that is all a distraction. Don't get caught up in that. And if you don't believe me, I don't care where you at into the world, some point you can always come down to South Florida and you can meet with me and I can show you people lined up that want to work, that want real opportunity. I can show you people that have businesses, have corporations, who know how to fill out the paperwork, who know how to do the right thing, that are getting disenfranchised. You're looking at a person, the same person, that has gotten disenfranchised by the same very government that we work in. But I don't rely on them because I do business all over the country. And I'm fortunate enough to be around a whole lot of Black professional women as well as Black professional men. And we make shit work with the opportunities that we have. And those opportunities are limited, but we get around these different situations. Yes, we have to cut deals with the devil on numerous occasions. And a lot of these guys do more than my ass have to do. But again, people want to work. Don't let them tell you people don't want to work. I deal with single parent mothers every day with 4 and 5 kids in the house. They want fucking jobs. I deal with kids that we have to drop off to homeless shelters because their mother is in there because they can't afford the rent and they want another job. So don't let them people tell you that. That's some bullshit. Don't let nobody tell you Black people are lazy, Black people don't want to work, Black people don't want to be educated. All bullshit. And I leave it on that note. Y'all have a safe weekend, not a safe week. Y'all enjoy everything and stay away from the COVID. Adios, amigos.